Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Thursday, October the 14th, and I have just uploaded my latest video today. But after I loaded that up on YouTube, I got a phone call from Michael's. My framing was ready. So I have some framing to share with you today. This is a blast from the past. I finished this Little House Neighborhood piece, a Little House Needleworks piece called Little House Neighborhood in 2020. And I finally pulled it out when I had a big sale at Michael's and had 60% off plus another 20% off of that. I think it winds up being about 75% off. But anyway, it was of their framing, and I went in and decided to take advantage of that, and I went ahead and got this beautiful piece framed. And this is stitched on, I think it's Heroic, that has the blue and the red little sweeps in it. And I thought it was a perfect piece for this pattern because of the blue and red in the houses, and the brownish gold tint of that fabric looked perfect with that brown gold house. So anyway, this says, a little house, a little tree, a neighborhood for you and me. And I stitched this right after we moved into our new home. I don't know, we've been there a couple of years, I guess, when I finished it. And so I finished it in 2020, and I absolutely love it. And I think I shared that my mom had a weeping willow tree in her front yard when I was growing up, and I know she loved that tree. And so that really spoke to me about my neighborhood. Now, the houses in my neighborhood didn't look anything like that. They were very small ranch houses, but this is true to the style there, you know, of Little House Needleworks. But now that we've moved, actually, the houses do resemble our neighborhood. And none of the houses in our neighborhood look alike. None of them are the same style. So I like the fact that these are all different. And I really, really do love our new neighborhood. So this is very special to me to be able to frame it. That's why I went back and picked it up and took it to the framer. And if you notice, this frame, it's not showing the correct color in my monitor, so I don't know that you're going to see it correctly, but there's gold, kind of a gold color on the edge, but maybe you saw a little of it there, it's got a red tint to it, a brown red, almost like a little wash of red over it, which looks great with the reds in this piece and in the fabric itself. So I'm very happy with it. Trying to keep the glare out of it for you. This is going to be hung in my living room, but I just wanted to share it, you know, before I put it up. So there's my Little House Neighborhood. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is October 18th. It's Monday afternoon, and I am thrilled to be videoing today because I have a finish that I can't wait to share with you. I started this project on October the 2nd, 2019. It was my oldest WIP, and I'm sure you've guessed it by now. It's Sleepy Hollow. It was a piece that I started on my original card. I make a card for each of my projects when I start them. And I put on there that the purpose for it was for our home. I was intending it to be a Halloween decoration for my home. And this is the one that when my son saw it and said, "What is that?" And I showed him the pattern, and he saw what it was going to be. He said, "Oh, that's mine. That's mine. You're making that for me, right? I want that one." Well, when your kid wants something, you stitch, you know, that's awesome. So I told him, well, as of now, it's yours, and I'll try to finish it for you. So here it is, October 18th, 2021. So we're talking 2 full years. I've worked on this piece in a few days, so 16 days longer. I wish I had known that it was October 2nd. I might could have put a little more time in it sooner. Might could have finished it on its anniversary date, but I don't mind. It's the anniversary month, and it's a full month ahead of when I had hoped to have it finished. And so my plan is to take it for the brag table for the weekend, and then as soon as I get back, take it to the frame shop. So here's my finish. Isn't it cute? Okay, I'll see if I can get the whole thing in. There we go. Now, if you have been watching, you'll recall that my son said to me that he didn't care to have the poem at the bottom. So there's a whole poem and another border that I didn't have to put on here. So I actually have a little extra fabric I'm going to be able to salvage, and I think that'll make some really cute Halloween ornaments with this beautiful fabric. This is Fanci. This is a 28 count linen. It's hand-dyed fabrics by Stephanie, and she still makes this. I've seen it on her website many times. I gifted half of this piece to Gary from the Sunshine Stitchers in exchange for a project bag that Ronnie authorized. So that worked out really well, and I think he's already used it. But, or at least I know he used the green I sent with it as a surprise. But I want to talk to you a little bit about this. Number one, you see how bright that thread is for the moon? It's because it's glow-in-the-dark thread. And doesn't it look luminous? It just looks great to me. I love it. And when it's glowing in the dark, I know you can't tell the glistening, but maybe you can. There's a blending filament in it that makes it sparkle. And then there's Krynic in here that I added in on my own, that's orange Krynic. And so when you're looking at it with the naked eye, it sparkles, so it looks like flames. I'm really happy with the effect. So there is Krynic in the border. There's around the spider webs and then down the side. And then there are 2 colors of beads. There are silver matte beads here, and on the top in between the pumpkins are these beautiful tealy gray matte beads. So real silvery gray tarnishing looking beads. In his shirt jacket there are beads, the silvery ones there, and the initials on the horse are SH for Sleepy Hollow. I toyed with changing those. I toyed with making them my son's initials. And then I thought, well, no, he's not a headless horseman. And then I thought, well, that's where I could sneak in my initials. And I thought, no, I'm going to leave it where it is. So I just left it Sleepy Hollow. But here it is. Here's my finish. I'm really happy with it. And although you can see there are beads between the pumpkin and the bats all the way around, and the pumpkins and the skeletons and the bats at the bottom, that's not all called for beads. They're actually called for beads to be between each one of these motifs, just 2 beads each, but then they wanted these little, strand of beads like this in between each one. And quite frankly, I think it's crowded. I looked at doing it. I've got enough beads to do it. I certainly have the time, to do it. But I just felt it looked crowded. And I felt like the amount of beads that I put on here, I think are just enough. It's for my son, and he's not a real bead person, he doesn't want anything that flashy, I don't think. So I think this is just enough in between each of those. So to put beads in between each of these 2 all the way around was just more than needed to be there. So I like it a little simpler. I think it looks great. I am so tickled to be done with it. There is Krynic in that cape, and there's Krynic in the belt buckle and in the tack on the horse. that you probably can't see the benefit of the shine, but everything is backstitched. The entire piece is backstitched. I spent an entire day and a little bit of another stitching time finishing the back stitching, because I started going back stitching as I went in the beginning, and the top half I did really well. So here's my finish. I just wanted to share it with you, and I am really happy to have it done. Talk to you soon. In the meantime, happy stitching. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tina. It is Tuesday, October 26th. I had to stop and think. I've been on a retreat. Been stitching till late, well, not even late night, early morning. We stayed up a long time. So I want to tell you about my retreat. I'll give you some details, and I've got lots to show you because I was privileged to ride to the retreat with Donna from D Squared, and she was kind enough to share her vehicle with me, and we rode to Missouri, and on the way up, and we stopped at CC and Company. I'd never been there before, and she showed me around the shop, and I got some things there which I'll show you first because it occurred first, and then I'll start regaling you with what I've seen and done at the retreat. I've got lots of great things to share with you as far as my stash enhancements, gifts, stitching progress. Yes, I even stitch at retreats. So I'm one of those that do. I want to show you first my haul from CC and Company because I'm so tickled to get it. So there are two things I wanted to share with you that were patterns that I purchased. The first is a heartstring samplery pattern. Y'all have seen it before, Sewn in Friendship. It's one half of that partnership that they did, and it says, "A token for my friend." And I know many of you have stitched this already. I'm late to the party on this, but I just thought it was so pretty when I saw it, and I went ahead and picked it up. And then this one I picked up specifically to stitch for my bedroom because this beautiful teal blue is in my bedroom. And this is a token of love, and it is a from a Quaker sampler. Token of love. Oh, it's Country Stitches with the needle and thread. It's a 2020 pattern, so it's a fairly new one, only about a year old. Isn't that beautiful? But that blue is the exact blue of the curtains in my bedroom. And then I have sort of a honey golden brown furniture, and I just think that will look so pretty in there. I don't know how I'm going to finish it yet, whether I'm going to finish it as a picture or whether I'll finish it as a pillow to go in my rocking chair, or just what I'm going to do yet. But I definitely want to stitch it for my bedroom. So those were the two patterns I picked up at CC and Company. The other two things I got were quite a bonus. They had some lakeside linens, and they had some fiber on a whim. I've never tried either, believe it or not. Never tried either. So I wanted to try them. So I got a big piece of lakeside linen. It is 36 count. That's new for me. It is vintage exemplar. I've heard about it over and over and over again. I know a lot of people love it for their samplers, and I thought, how beautiful is that piece right there? So I picked that up while I was there because I was so happy to see it. And as it turned out, they had just gotten it the day before. So our timing could not have been better. Then I got the fiber on a whim, which is called Affogato. Affogato. A-F-F-O-G-A-T-O. 32 count, which is my sweet spot, as you know. And there you go. There you can see that. It's kind of a beautiful neutral with a golden green tint. That's probably a better color there. So that was my haul from Cece and Company. I was really, really excited to be there, enjoyed it, and looking forward to getting started on that Quaker piece. So I'm going to pause for just a moment because I have to walk over to my table and grab the first stack of things I want to share with you. So the first thing I want to share with you is my exchange piece. I had stitched a beautiful biscornu. So it's a beautiful orange and burnt red poppy biscornu, and it's I got counting pins to go with it. I made a scissor fob to go with it, put it with the scissors, and I had one other thing in there. But anyway, I had 3 little gifts, and what Julie does is when you show up, if you're participating in the exchange, she has you put your prize that you've made in a brown paper lunch bag, and that way everybody's looks the same. You don't have a hint as to what's in there at all. So when you go up to get yours, you have a ticket you're given when you check in that has a number on it, and she just draws it out of a cup, and when it's your number, you go and you pick a bag. Well, the only thing they do is tell you which bag not to pick, and that's yours. They've written your name on the bottom of it. So when you walk up, they look and find yours, and they tell you, don't pick this one, pick anyone but this one. So as it turned out, the one that I got was from Nancy, and she was someone I did not know. We met there at the retreat. She's a lovely lady, and as it turned out, she was sitting at the table right behind me, and so I had been able to turn around and talk with her a bit. Not nearly as much as I would have hoped. We had so many people there. We had such a good time, and we were all visiting quite heavily. But this is what she made. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful stitching, a beautiful winter piece. She made it into an ornament so I can hang it if I want to. And look at this backing. Isn't that gorgeous? She made that, and she actually made a piping out of that backing fabric to go around the edge and put it on there. It looks like she either quilted it or braided it or something. It's just fabulous on here. Her finishing is impeccable. Anyway, this is going on my mantle as soon as I'm through filming with you guys. It's just beautiful, and it can stay up all winter. Nancy, thank you so much. If you're watching, I don't know if she does. Okay, so the exchange went well. There were quite a number of people that participated, so that was a lot of fun. But we don't just give each other exchanges. When you go to one of Julie's retreats, you get a present from Julie, and she calls it a retreat project. I'm sorry, I bumped your camera. The retreat project is, from what I understand, always a design that Julie actually designs, and it's something for you to stitch, and something that's creatively finished, different every year. I was so tickled because there was a lady there who has been to every retreat. She has completed every project, and she brought them all, and we had a display table with all of the projects on it. So I took a video of it, and I'm gonna pop it in here.
Most brands spent more than 100 years in Ireland, so there's a real switching to the Irish there. And of course,
Oh, I see. You should have used one. I see.
So
You're gonna fix it. It would look
the
better.
one strand is only for the back stitch parts, and I use one strand for the X's and half stitches too. And it looks really stupid now. Can you tell it's a car?
Are those not the most creative finishes you've seen in a long time? None of them are the same. I got so many ideas. I had to film it just for the ideas. So this year's theme was stitching needfuls, things you need for stitching. And so the pattern that Julie designed says Stitching Needfuls. It's in Old English type lettering, and it has a thread bobbin stitched on here. It has your needle and thread, your scissors, your buttons, and a little half bobbin, which is a button that you stitch on there. She included everything to do this. So fabric already pre-cut for you, DMC floss, which I have put on cards that she provided. Look at these cards. Aren't those precious? She had those made, and the back of them says your DMC color, has the name of her shop on there. And so rather than bobbinate these, I just put them on her thread drops that she provided, and her color was rose gold this year. Everything she did was in rose gold. So the ring was a rose gold ring for this project. So here's the threads. You saw the fabric. And I went in the shop. Julie brought a large portion of her store to the retreat center and let us shop. That way we didn't have to leave the premises. Her shop was closed otherwise. And one of the things that I saw in her shop was a project bag made out of the fabric that those cards were printed out of. And so I have kitted my project in the project bag that I picked up at her store. There were 2 of them there, and a lady from my table named Sherry. Hi Sherry, if you're watching. She picked them up and was kind of measuring them against each other to see which one was bigger, and they were the same size. So I ran over there when I saw her get both of them, and I said, "Now you can't have but one because I want one." And she was laughing. She was just looking at the sizes. And so she graciously handed me one of them, and I got my project bag. So now that I've got everything in there, I want to show you how it's finished. So when you finish stitching your project, Julie gifted us this box. And the project is a long, narrow piece that fits on the top. So you'll just put it on a mounting board, and then you'll just either glue it on here or put it on with magnets, whichever way you see fit to do yours. It is closed with a clasp, and when you open it up, the top looks like the fabric, and it's full of gifts. Now, let's talk about gifts. What goes in my needful box are things that I will need for stitching. So the first thing that goes in there is the project that was our retreat project homework. It was our finishing class. Our finishing class was taught by Vanna Pfeiffer, who did it through a video that she had prepared for Julie. But Julie had created this pattern called orts. It's scissors and then the word orts, and it's got pretty little flowers on it, and then this lovely border from top and bottom that have different colors in it. So we stitched this before we got there, and then Vanna taught us how to put it on this spool and close it up. And so this is now an orts container that can go in my box. And then when I fill it up, I can put it in my little jar for my Christmas ornament. Isn't that cute? So that can go in my little box. Julie made us all a pin cushion. Look at this. Cute. Gray felt, walnut shells stuffed in there. Really, colors match perfectly. That's what's so cute. We have a mug rug. I didn't know this until I got there, that every year Julie makes or has made mug rugs to match her theme. So this was this year's theme, Needful Themes. We got 3 of these. These are vintage needle cases, and on the bottom she wrote the number of, this one is 28, if you can see it. But I have 3 of those, so I have 28, 26, and 24 needles. You always need a box of buttons. Here's my buttons in a little pretty jar. And on top of it is a covered button needle minder, which I will use on this project. She also gave us a vintage thimble. And the accoutrement for the pattern. Here are all the buttons you need. Here's that little half of a thimble that you wrap your thread around to make it the color you want. And then this is amazing. This is a little charm that goes on there, and you can't see it, I'm sure. Maybe you can if I get it close enough. It has my name on it. Every person's name was on theirs for your stitching, so it'll be personalized. Then she gave us needle bobbins. We got 2, and the reason we got 2 is that she had one made for 2020 because this was going to be her theme for her event in 2020 for her retreat, and it was canceled due to COVID. So she went back and had another one made with 2021, but she went ahead and gave us the 2020, so we'd have 2. And again, I mentioned color was rose gold. These are little tape measures that are padded, and the fabric is rose gold. It reminds me of the boxes that Garon Toten Bag sent out. And then we have our corner measure for starting. So I want you to see the inside of this box now. If my little tubes, I'll hold my tubes so they don't fall out because you can see they're in there. It has sections in it, if you can see over here. The corner gauge goes in the first one, and then you've got your a bigger section there that's for the measuring tape, and then your bobbin holders here, and then here are your needle holes for your needle cases. Dan, Julie's husband, made all of the insides for these boxes. So I'm putting my things in here, and my thimble fits in there upside down right next to my measuring tape. And my fabric thread bobbins go in here. Pin cushion. I want to put my buttons in my project. And my Ort container. Isn't that cute? And this will just sit on in my stitching area. Ready for when I need it. I think it's a great retreat project. And we got all these goodies to go in here in parts and pieces. So we would get a little pretty little gift bag with 2 or 3 things in it, and then 4 or 6 hours later she's walking around giving us another little gift bag, and by the end of the retreat we had all of those gifts to put in our box. So that was great fun. Another fun thing that I thought was cute is when we got there we had a bag of M&Ms on our bed with our tongs, so that we could snack without touching food while we were stitching. So I've brought these up to my stitching room because, I'm gonna have those. All right, I'm gonna try to show you my whips sort of in the order that I did them, if I can remember. When we got to the retreat on Thursday, I pulled out the first whip that I wanted to work on, one that I felt like would be easy to do, easy to count, because I knew I'd be talking a lot, meeting everybody, saying hello to everyone. So I pulled out my Hello Winter by Plum Street Samplers. And I did get some stitching on it that day. I'm really tickled with how far I got. I hope you can see some progress there. So now what I have left is really the offshoot up here that's green, and the flower that's out here, and the bird underneath it, and then the words "Hello Winter." And I have one snowflake to go back and hit over here, and then I can work my way around on the snowflakes. I've saved the snowflakes for last. So this fabric, someone asked me in a comment what I was using, and I've got to go back and add that in for them, but it is Ceridian by Fabrics by Stephanie, and mine is, Ceridian is with a C, Ceridin, I think, or maybe it's Ceridwen, W-E-N. Okay, here. She even had a hard time writing it, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's Ceridwen. Anyway, that's the fabric. And everybody that saw it, that commented on it at the retreat, really liked it on this color. They did think that looked good. So I'm really happy to know that. So there, I made some progress on that on my first day there, and stitched on it probably the majority of that afternoon, and then didn't switch out probably until after supper. On Friday, I wanted to have my out of the box at last new start, to continue on with Julie's out of the stash at last hashtag that she's doing. And so I pulled out my pattern that I've had since, what year was it? I don't know. 20 something. 2018, 2019, somewhere in there, but it's over 2 years old, and it is the Rudolph Flight School, and I'm doing this small little sleigh there. So I got started on it Friday, and I stitched on it all day, and I finished it. I stayed up till 12:30 Friday night to finish this little piece, and I did it. So there, let me put a piece of paper behind it so you can see it. There you go. After I stitched him, I didn't think I could see the antlers very well, so I backstitched them in black, and I backstitched the little hooves in black. And rather than do the words in black, I did mine in white, and it just says "Believe in the Magic." And I think that's just really cute. So now I am ready to take this out of the stash at last and put it with a previous out of the stash at last, which is my Santa, and I will put them on the little sleighs, and they are going to be little stocking stuffer gifts for my husband, or at least one of them will be, and then I may have the other one hidden on the tree and make him go find it. But that completed these 2 Christmas ornaments that I wanted to get done this year, so I'm very happy about that. That went well. Then I got out my Dogwood lace. It's my red sampler by Rosewood, Manor. I'm pulling the pattern out so you can see it. I'm doing mine in the call for threads, which are baked apple. But I did get some work on this, so I want to share it with you. And this is the way it goes right here. So I have gotten all the way down this side, and I have turned the corner, and I have started across the bottom. Really pleased with that. So I had one of my table mates, Sherry, had not seen this pattern before, fell in love with it, and she wants to know what the fabric is. So I will look on my card here today and find out what it is, and I'll send her that information so she can know exactly what I used and decide if that's what she wants to use or not. Okay, so Saturday was a new start. It was a retreat new start, and Donna and I had planned on doing a retreat new start. Sherry had planned on doing one, but she couldn't wait. She had to do it Friday, and so she worked on hers again on Saturday when the rest of us started our new start. Then Nicole from Buckeye Stitcher and Kathleen from Kathleen's Trident Trail, who were at my table as well, had a new start they wanted to do, and so we all started promptly at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning. And my new start was something I have been wanting to do, but felt like it was too big of a project to start with everything else I had going on. But for the retreat, I was so excited to be at a retreat. I had Julie bring me the fabric because she had a piece big enough, and I started my first Hawk Run Hollow. I started spring at Hawk Run Hollow. I don't have any others started. I do own one other one that was gifted to me, but this is the one that I loved the color scheme on, and I wanted to do it first. So my friend Donna brought me the pattern. She's loaning it to me because she wants to do this one as well. So that means I have to get busy, because if she wants to do it, I have to finish it and get her pattern back to her. But I got a beautiful Lugana, and it's in I can't remember now. I'll have to ask Julie what color it's in. But here's my start. I did the border of the top of the Hawk Run Hollow, and then I stopped because Julie cut it for me there at the sale. She brought me a couple of choices, and when I made my choice, then she went and cut the piece I needed, and so she didn't have her serger there. So I need to finish the edges of this one before I keep working on it and it just unravels to death. But I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I'll have to check with her to see what color that I decided on, because I don't remember. Okay. So then I worked on my banding, my Long May She Wave, and I'm not going to show it to you now because I worked on it again on the way home yesterday. So I'll wait and do it last. But then the morning that we were waiting to come home, or back to Donna's, we stopped by to see Donna's folks, and we were getting ready to leave the retreat. We had a couple of hours to stitch, and I pulled out Gathering Eggs. I wanted to get just a little bit of work on it. This is the Mirabilia Gathering Eggs that I've been working on, and I just got a tiny bit done at the retreat, just the smallest amount because I didn't have long. But I worked over in here, and I got a lot of this dark purple done up in here, and then it started coming down this way. But it's sort of confetti heavy. I brought it because I had the idea that I would try to finish the border. But then when I sat down to stitch and I knew we only had a short amount of time, I just picked a color that I saw lots of right here, and I started working on it just so I could get a little bit of it done. Then the last one I worked on was Long May She Wave, and I had worked on it. The last time you saw it, I had completed this box. It's a present. And I had done, I think, this limb and possibly this limb. I think that's as far as I had gotten. So I completed Uncle Sam minus his back stitching and eyes, French knots for his eyes. I'll go back and do that when I do all of my little back stitching in here. And then I did the birdhouse, and I completed this star. I came down here and I did these two limbs, and now I have to roll this back up, and I have 3 more of these to do, and the words, long may she wave. So this is one that will be fairly easy to finish up soon, maybe not, you know, immediately, but soon. And I'm hoping to get it done anyway. So that's the progress I made on there. Okay. That is my wrap up about the retreat, other than to say we had a great time. Absolutely great time. The place we stayed is an old church camp, and so you have sort of a hotel room that has the basics in it, and then we went to the stitching room, and the stitching room was fabulous. It was huge, and the tables that Julie set up were very wide and very long, and we had 2 people to a table, and we put them in a big square. So she pushed 2 tables together, and you had people on the outside and then people on the ends. We had a big long table, so it was like a big square, and it was plenty of room. I felt socially distanced well enough that I was comfortable, but I could talk to everybody around me at the table, and so that was great. And I told Julie how much I like the big tables because we could put our stuff out. You know, I actually had a lamp out and a little stand out to hold my pattern straight up where I could see it better, and I could lay out my scissors and my needle threader and all that kind of stuff on my desktop or tabletop, and I'm used to stitching at a desk. So that was quite comfortable for me. Loved it, really loved it. We had a young lady there who was 15 years old. It was her first retreat. She came with a friend of her mom's or a co-worker of her mother's, and I think the lady had taught her how to stitch. And so she invited her to come with her, and she chaperoned her that weekend, made her feel comfortable to have somebody she knew there. And as far as I know, this most senior stitcher we had was 82 years old. And the funny thing is, the lady who was the latest night stitcher who closed the room up every night was one of our more senior stitchers. And Donna and I, the first night, stitched till 12:30 before we left, and she was still there. And I think she stitched till about 1 or 1:30 every night. And you would think she'd sleep in the next morning, but she didn't. She was one of the first ones in the room. So, Julie, if you're watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a fabulous retreat. You were extremely generous in your gifts and in your time, and it was great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, if you ever have a chance to get in to the retreat, then by all means, do that. I'm videoing you. Hawk run. All right. That's beautiful. Thank you.
It's up there in that coastal region. And so. But they spoke German, but the rest area, they had them there. So I mean, it was.
I wonder if they knew my grandma's family, the Thompsons.
Were they ON or EN?
They were all in.
And
I was, my mom was 100%. On the first, look at the first.
Okay, this is a box that a friend sent, and she sent Coco some gifts. Oh, look, Coco, that's yours. I'll open it a little bit, but let me get Coco her present. All right, let's do the rest of the unboxing here. We have a cute little card. To Coco. Fan mail. It says, Dear Coco, we love your floss tube. Our mom loves your co-host, but we love you the best. We always say hello when you bark at us. Your co-host usually does most of the talking. We think your dad is nice. He spends a lot of time with you. Our dad is nice too. We are proud of your brother. Mom prays for him to reach his goals. Licks and sniffs. Gucci and Gracie. Oh, awesome. Well, Gucci and Gracie, Coco thanks you very, very much. Let's see what else they got her. Oh, look. Dream bones. Oh, you know she's going to enjoy that. It's made with real chicken. Coco will be so excited. All right. And now I think these are gifts for Coco's co-host. Scripture verses for every day of the year. Isn't that pretty? Oh, hey, you got your toy? Is that your new toy? Oh, look at that. How beautiful. All right. I will be using that. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? That is so pretty. Oh, what a great pillow. Look at the fall leaf on the back. That's such a great idea. Oh, you guys. This is fabulous. Well, you know where this is going to go. This has to go on the mantle. Okay, there's a bag in here. It says Looney Tunes cartoons. Oh, there's stuff in here. Oh my goodness gracious. There's patterns and kits. Oh my goodness gracious. I have to pull that out and share it with you. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is definitely some happy mail. Look at this. This is a project bag. Look at those gorgeous flosses. And there's a needle minder. It says spring. That looks like spring, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. Look at that. It's beautiful. There's another. Oh my gosh, people. Look at this. Look at this. So cute. And the needle minder. Look at the truck with the pumpkins on it. Wow. That's great. Love it. So cute. Oh my goodness, there's another one here. Mickey. Patriotic bag. Look at that. So great. Oh, thank y'all. Oh my goodness gracious. This is from my friend Perky, who has spoiled me rotten. Spoiled me rotten. She's so sweet. Now, this is too much to even go through on camera. I'm just gonna enjoy that, and then you may see some of that later when I do some giveaways. All right, wonderful happy mail there. Here's one more. Got this one I got home from retreat as well. Are you seeing this, people? This is so sweet. Now this is from a friend as well, and her name is Betty, and she sent all this and said I could either use it for myself or for giveaways on the channel. And so you will definitely be seeing some of this in the near future, because in January I have an anniversary coming up on FlossTube. So I think this just might be some of the things you can look forward to. Thanks for letting me share my happy mail with you. Someone is taking a little bit of a rest.